Phrolova's signature weapon along with the full information of the stats that it provides have been officially released. So in today's video, we'll be diving a bit deeper into the pull value of this weapon by analyzing how it easily synergizes with Phrolova to give you guys an idea of what you should expect from her gameplay, because it's the first weapon of its kind that actually requires the user to use an echo skill in certain situations to receive the buff that it provides. And then we'll dive deeper into which characters can benefit from this weapon from a free-to-play perspective, other weapon options available for Phrolova, and finally my recommendation if you should pull for this weapon or not based on several situations. If you're new here on the channel, the name is Senpai and I make videos that helps you improve and make better pull decisions in weather and waves. So be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel because it helps me out tremendously. For the stats, she's rocking a 587 base attack, which is amazing for Phrolova because her role in your team building is to do quite a significant portion of your team's overall damage, and the high base attack explains why we have a low crit rate of 24.3%. But crit rate shouldn't be an issue because the new echo set for Phrolova that was announced in the version 2.5 special broadcast provides 20% crit rate in addition to 35% echo skill damage bonus. The first part of the passive buffs attack by 12%, which is nothing special. The second passive buffs resonance skill damage bonus by 32%. Echo skill damage amplification by 32%, and ignore 8% of the target's defense, all within 12 seconds after dealing damage with an echo skill. The echo skill damage method of activation is quite nice because it makes the 32% resonance skill damage bonus and the 8% universal defense resistance shred easily available to any other character as long as you use their echo skill to do damage before you start doing damage with the equipped character. But the issue with this weapon as a versatile option is the 12 seconds buff duration. If the equipped character requires more than 12 seconds to do damage while they are on the field, it will be very difficult to refresh the buffs because most echoes in the game can only be activated once every 25 seconds, with the exception of Crownless that can be cast multiple times. Speaking of refreshing buffs, let's see how you can maintain the weapon buff on Phrolova for the longest possible time. From Phrolova's official kit information, activating her liberation after using her Forte circuit will allow her to either control Hecate by herself like a puppet master, or simply intro to your teammates and continue to rotate them as you usually do in any team, and Hecate will attack the enemy automatically. But while Hecate is attacking the enemy by itself, any teammate that uses their echo skill will allow Hecate to launch a special attack which is considered as echo skill damage and will continuously refresh the buffs on the weapon. While this sounds like something that is quite simple and easy to do, it can become a bit of an issue, especially when you intro from Cantarella to Phrolova to do damage. The issue here is that the 12 seconds buff timer starts when you're on a sub DPS like Cantarella when she uses her echo skill before the intro to Phrolova. Phrolova also has to spam basic attacks to get Forte stacks, which can take too much field time and can easily get interrupted by enemies, which further increases the chances of losing the weapon buffs when she's on the field. So basically, all I'm trying to say is that it will be very difficult for Phrolova to maintain the weapon buff duration when you're up against highly aggressive enemies with Phrolova on the field due to how the timer starts on a different character like Cantarella when she uses the Lorelei echo skill to end the rotation before the intro to Phrolova. And keep in mind that the intro skill animation from Cantarella to Phrolova will not pause the 12 seconds buff duration timer. It seems the devs tried to fix this by giving her anti-interruption from one of her passives to tank enemy hits while generating 40 stacks with her basic attacks to avoid interruptions. But unless it is more powerful like Zani's anti-interruption, it's not something that you can really rely on. So to maintain the weapon buffs for as long as possible, all you need to do is to simply use Phrolova's echo skill when she's done generating 40 stacks with her basic attacks after an intro skill to refresh the weapon buffs once again, and then hold basic attack to use her enhanced heavy attack, which will now be buffed by the resonance skill damage bonus on her weapon to do more damage. Hence, Phrolova might be the only character that actually forces you to use an echo skill to receive damage buffs, unlike other characters in the game where you can skip echo skills during your rotations due to how you can gain the buffs that the echoes provide by just equipping them on your main slot. With that out of the way, let's get into this weapon's synergy with other characters in the game from a free-to-play perspective. In terms of synergy with the passive, there's no rectifier unit at the moment that scales off resonance skill damage or echo skill damage. However, this weapon can be a universal alternative specifically for any main damage dealer due to the high base attack, crit rate substat, and you only need to do damage with an echo skill to obtain the 8% universal defense resistance shred for 12 seconds. Now let's get into Phrolova's weapon alternatives. First priority is String Master because when she enters the special state, the glowing skill and the glowing basic attack used to generate the normal forte stacks or musical note are considered as resonance skill damage and does more than one instance of damage, so you get the 24% attack buff almost all the time while Phrolova is on the field. If you're not familiar with what I mean by instances of damage, let me use Phoebe as an example. Using her first skill does 2 instances of damage, as you can see right here, which procs all the 2 stacks of the second passive of String Master to give you 24% attack. And the second skill cast that teleports her also does 2 instances of damage, which refreshes the 24% attack buff all over again. Now, this is not from a meta perspective, but I think String Master actually matches her drip from an aesthetic point of view as an added bonus if you're planning to use it on Phrolova. The second priority will be Whispers of Sirens. She can gain all the 2 stacks to give her Havoc Resistance Shred and basic attack damage bonus because her enhanced heavy attack is considered as an echo skill, which you can pair up with using her actual echo skill after an intro skill to receive all the buffs that the weapon provides. But do keep in mind that the 40% basic attack damage bonus won't do much for Phrolova's damage output because she doesn't scale off basic attack damage. Third priority will be Rhyme Drape's perk. You know what, let's just call it Jeji's signature. The basic attack damage bonus from the second part of the passive won't do much for Phrolova, but is recommended because of the high crit damage substat. Try to stay away from Cosmic Ripples since it lacks a crit substat, but feel free to use it if it's the only 5-star weapon option that you have available. I wouldn't recommend any 4-star weapon unless it's augment from the battle pass due to the crit rate substat, but it's locked behind a paywall, so be sure to keep that in mind. Now here are my pull recommendations. If you have String Master or Whispers of Sirens on your account, you can comfortably skip her signature weapon if you can barely afford it. From her kit information, it seems majority of her damage will be coming from her enhanced heavy attack, considered as resonance skill damage, and it gets buffed even further when your teammates use an echo skill, which gives you after sound stacks after casting Phrolova's Liberation. So your best strategy to increase Phrolova's damage without spending more money than you have to is to get Cantarella instead if you don't have her on your account, and the majority of Cantarella's abilities are considered as echo skills, which buffs the enhanced heavy attack even further because you get more after sound stacks, and she also provides resonance skill and havoc damage amplification from her outro skill. But if you don't have any of the decent weapon options that I mentioned earlier, feel free to get it since it's guaranteed at 80 pulls. That's all for my weapon pull value analysis for Phrolova. Hope this video provided value to you, and if it did, leave a like and subscribe to support the channel because it's free and you can always change your mind. Be sure to also join our community Discord if you're having any issues with the game or you just want a place to chill or hang out. Link will be in the pinned comment below. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.